Hey guys, my name is Matt Kendall. I'm a full-time photographer and videographer. Today, I wanted to talk about ND filters. What are they? How do they work? When should you use one? And which ones to consider buying for your camera bag? For starters, ND stands for neutral density filter, and they work by darkening your image a certain number of stops without having to drastically alter your camera settings. Everyone likes to refer to ND filters as the sunglasses for your camera, and they are great at getting details back into your image when you're photographing or filming your subject outside in very harsh sunlight, which is exactly the primary reason for an ND filter. An ND filter can also be used to create a shallower depth of field in your image. So if you're someone looking to blur out your background and focus more on the subject, an ND filter will help solve this issue. Now, how dark an ND filter will be is designated by a number. Most common range of filters people will use can be from ND2 to ND64, ND2 being slightly dark and ND64, which is going to be really, really dark. There are other ND filters out there that go even higher than ND64, but for you starting out, ND2 to ND64 is going to work just fine. But since there is a range of darkness to choose from with these filters, it can get hectic swapping out one ND filter after another on your camera to expose your image just right. So let me introduce you to the variable ND filter. This design provides a range of stops all in one filter that you can adjust accordingly without having to swap out one filter after another. The filter works just like a dial, so you turn it in either direction to get the proper exposure on your camera until it's just the way you want it. Now, the way I use my variable ND filter is I open up my aperture all the way and pop on the ND filter. I'll then adjust the dial until the image starts to come into focus and adjust my ISO accordingly, since the ND filter is already darkening the image when I screw it onto the front of the lens. That's basically how I use my ND filters when I'm filming weddings and other video projects, but there are other ways to implement these filters as well, depending on the type of look you're trying to go for with your image. So which ND filter would be right for you? Well, I personally recommend variable ND filters since it allows you to have various levels of darkness all on one filter. As for which brand to go with, Polar Pro or Tiffin have always been the top choice for many photographers and videographers. But if you're looking for something more budget friendly, I would recommend this variable ND filter from K&F Concept. This has been my go-to filter for all my projects so far, and I've been really pleased with the results. I'd still recommend Polar Pro or Tiffin if you want the best overall quality filters, but K&F is my second choice as far as affordability. I'll have links to these filters all in the description below for you to check out and purchase for yourself to include in your camera bag if you don't have one already. And that brings us to the end of this video. If you haven't already, please go ahead and like this video as well as subscribe to the channel. I'll be coming out with more content on photography and video very soon. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.